look at the driver standings after round 2. Nico Rosberg leads the championship with 43 points. Lewis Hamilton is in second place with 40 points. Daniel Ricciardo has moved down to third place with 33 points. Then there is a huge gap to Sebastian Vettel, his teammate, with 16 points. Nico Hülkenberg has 16 points as well in 5th place. Valtteri Bottas has moved up in the standings and is now in 6th place with 14 points. Kimi Raikkonen has 14 points as well. Sergio Perez has moved up as well. He has now got 10 points. Fernando Alonso has 8 points. Kevin Magnussen has 5 points. Jenson Button with 2. And Felipe Massa with just a single point going into the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now moving on to the Constructors table. Mercedes-AMG still leads the way, now have 83 points after 2 races. Red Bull still in second place with 49 points. Sahara Force India have moved up and overtaken Ferrari, now have 26 points, whereas Ferrari now only have 22 points. Williams have moved up in the table as well to 15 points. Mercedes now have 7 points, and all other teams are yet to score in this championship. Hello and welcome back to F1 2014. Now today we are racing in the Bahrain Grand Prix. As per usual, we'll be starting in last place on the grid. Let's have a look at the track. You can see that it's going to be a dry race, 0% chance of rain. Let's have a look at the grid quickly. Our teammate Nico Rosberg gets pole position for the 3rd time in a row. Sebastian Vettel starts 2nd in the Red Bull, and his teammate Daniel Ricciardo starts in 3rd place. Now, let's go to the race. Now all lined up for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're just waiting now for the 5 red lights to come on. Here they are. And lights out. Away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We go already past one car. Ericsson in the caterham. As we go into the slipstream of Max Chilton going down into turn 1. Now Kobayashi brakes really early. Brake checks us going into turn 1. We have to slow down. Nearly taking our front wing off into the back of the caterham. We run wide going through turn 2, now to turn 3, up to turn 4, down this straight we go into the slipstream of Max Chilton. How many places we can get, move for a lunge down the inside of a lot of cars. We're now into position 30 behind Jenson Button in the McLaren. They go slowly to the exit of turn 4. Now we get a good run coming through turn 5, 6 and 7. Round the outside of Jenson Button going through turn 5. Now Bottas is next, coming up to turn 8, down the inside of 3 cars. Up into position 8 now. Up next is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. Already gained 14 places. And we're not even come to the end of lap 1. Now coming down the straight. We enter the slipstream of Daniel Ricciardo as we come down straight, coming into turn 11. We brake really late going into the corner. Daniel Ricciardo is held up by Felipe Massa. We try to make a move down the outside. He pushes us wide off track. We lose a little bit of speed as we try to come back on track. Perez behind us tries to make a move, doesn't. Now we go down the inside. Daniel Ricciardo coming through turn 13. Now come to the end of lap 1. Felipe Massa is the car in front. Will we make a move going into the final 2 corners? We look like it. We hold back because there isn't any space to go down the inside. However, we might make a move going into turn 1 as we start lap 2. Up ahead, Felipe Massa looks like he's going to make a move on Kimi Raikkonen. Goes down the inside, makes the move stick. However, we're going to go down the inside of both of them going into turn 1. We get the move, stop, car stop just in time. We're now into position 5. That's 2 moves, 2 cars taken in 1 corner. Now come to the end of lap 2 to start lap 3. Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull is the car in front of us. Moves into rich mix to try and use any extra fuel to try and catch Vettel in front, as he is 5.6 seconds ahead of us. There's a huge gap he has gained on us in the first couple of laps. Fernando Alonso leads his race in the Ferrari. Our teammate Nico Rosberg is either in 2nd or 3rd. Coming now through turn 4, a nice exit now coming into the section of turns 5 and 6 and 7. We go purple through the first sector. We're a little bit wide going through turn 7, but we get it stopped going into turn 8. Now partway through the 2nd sector, coming up to turn 11, we can see Sebastian Vettel in front of us. Not too far, we seem to have closed the gap. We're a little bit wide again, going through turn 11. It doesn't affect us that much. Now through turn 12. A good exit. We go purple through the 2nd sector, which is phenomenal pace. We've closed the gap to Sebastian Vettel to 2.6 seconds. Literally 3 seconds in 1 lap. It looks like he's getting held up by the cars in front of him, and we are using rich mix. Now go back down to standard mix to start lap 4 as we go purple on that lap. Fastest man on track. Now coming into turn 1, we can see in front of us that there's been a collision between the Ferrari of Fernando Alonso and the Force India of Nico Hülkenberg. Yellow flags were just shown. They are gone now, back to green flags. An almighty collision between the two going into turn 1, and we've gained 2 places out of that. Now it goes through the final 2 corners onto the straight to start lap 5. Sebastian Vettel is literally just in front of us. Try and get into the slipstream of him as we go into turn 1. See how close we can get to the back of him as we brake late going into turn 1. We're literally right on the gearbox of Sebastian Vettel now. Under a second as we cross the finish line between us, which means we'll be able to use DRS. Right, we're going to make a move going into turn 4. We go down the inside of him. We brake extremely late, too late in fact. The move does not stick. Sebastian Vettel retakes position 2. Now coming towards the end of lap 5. Sebastian Vettel is still in front of us, but we are slowly catching back up to him after a little mistake earlier. Coming through turn 13, the gap to Vettel is just half a second, which means we're going to get DRS on the straight as well, under 1 second, which gives us a slight advantage. We run a little bit wide through turn 14 and 15. Doesn't affect us that much. Open DRS. So we can close onto the back of Sebastian Vettel as we start lap 6. We look to make a move down the inside, going through turn 1. We get it slowed down. We brake late, later than Sebastian Vettel. Get the move stopped. We're now in position 2. That is a Mercedes 1-2, which will be very good for the constructors. Now coming to the end of lap 6, we're going to make a pit stop at the end of this lap. Change it onto the prime tyres, and it looks like Sebastian Vettel is going to follow us into the pit lane. Hopefully we can get a good stop and stay in front of him. Push onto the prime tyres, but we've been held in the pits by a Williams, which gives Sebastian Vettel the advantage to overtake us coming out of the pit exit. Hopefully we don't lose too much time behind Sebastian Vettel as we try and warm up our tyres. Going into turn 1 now, you can see that Sebastian Vettel brakes really early for the corner because he's got really cold tyres. We make a move down the inside. We have re-overtaken Sebastian Vettel as quickly as we could have done. Now we are seen to come second place in this race, as long as we can nail this outlap. Put the car into rich mix to try and push. Going towards the end of lap 7. We'll probably see a lot of cars in the pit lane now. As we go by the pit lane, you can see 5 cars are in the pit lane. We go back up to position 2 in the race. Our teammate Nico Rosberg has already made a pit stop and come back out in front of us. Let's try and push to close the gap to the race leader and our teammate Rosberg. Coming now to the end of lap 8 to start lap 9. Let's see what the gap is to Nico Rosberg. It is 5.2 seconds. There's a huge margin between myself and my teammate. And the gap behind to Vettel is just under 3 seconds. We've managed to pull away from him. There's no danger of him trying to catch us and overtake us, hopefully towards the end of this race. Now coming to the start of lap 11. We've reduced the gap to just under 5 seconds. Still a huge margin. And we're slowly running out of laps. There's only 4 laps left of this race. 5 seconds to gain. Can we do it? Some might say no, because that means we have to gain more than a second a lap on Nico Rosberg. We're going to push really hard down for the final few laps of this race. Now coming down the straight to start lap 13. The gap is now down to 3.4 seconds. It's still a huge margin. There are only 2 laps left of this race. 2 laps to gain 3.4 seconds. Can it be done? We're going to see if we can do it. Find out. Even if we don't, we still get a solid second place, 18 points, and we close the gap. I say close the gap. Unfortunately, Nico Rosberg will have increased the gap in the driver's standings on points. He would have gained another 7 points with him getting 25 points for this race. The gap is only 3 seconds as we come to start the 3rd sector. Now it's time to start our final lap. We're going to give it everything to this final lap. Put the car into rich mix. We're going to use any extra fuel we've got. The gap is just over 3 seconds. We're going to try and push as hard as we can to do this final lap. See if we can try and catch Nico Rosberg. Going through turn 4 now. Get a really good line through there. Early on the power, and we've closed the gap to 2.8 seconds. Now coming to the end of lap 14. Unfortunately, we have not been able to catch our teammate. We just got the gap down to just over 2 seconds. Literally 2 seconds is the gap. Our teammate Nico Rosberg has won the race. However, that is a Mercedes 1-2. Excellent for the constructors. See, as we look at the race result, our teammate Nico Rosberg has won the race. The gap between myself and him was just under 2 seconds to cross the finish line. If there was a few more laps, maybe we could have caught him. Unfortunately, there was only 14 laps. As we scroll down to see that we have 2 DNFs in this race, Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen. That's the first time Kevin Magnussen has not been able to score points in a race so far this season. Scroll back up. Sebastian Vettel took the final place on the podium, Felipe Massa takes 4th, and Sergio Perez takes 5th place. After the incident between Alonso and Hulkenberg, they managed to seal 8th and 10th place, getting themselves a few points for the championship. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video. Next up is the Chinese Grand Prix. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.